Good evening, we have another live stream, and I just discovered this sound. I think we did this one before, but so nice. This one uses the sequencer, the ARP sequence, essentially as modulation matrix. So you see the modes, you have the several modes of Predator-3. You have the up, down, and then chord, but also modulation. Modulation means that essentially you see here in the play mode that we are playing polyphonic, and the ARP here is used as modulation. As you can see, my webcam on the keyboard is working again. Lucky enough, I put it on a different USB port, and then it pops up suddenly. So it's very weird. But if you have two Logitech webcams on your system, it seems that yeah, it's confused by it. Yeah, everybody, welcome. Good to see that sound and video is good. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, what's today? Of course, you were expecting me playing Blue 3 or maybe the new FX, but it's too early for that. We are still working on it, and essentially today I'm finished the video tutorial. Okay, we'll again have a let me see. Yes, we had already spam inside of it. I did remove it, of course, and then of course I need to report this. Okay. Yes, so we're back again. So this is one of the presets I just was playing in the start of the live stream. So my idea was to do maybe some basic synth sounds, just some basic analog synth sounds. That would be maybe a nice idea. This one sounds very analog. It's kind of a patching, which you could be doing on a let's say a modular synthesizer where the sequencer or a controls not the normal playing notes part, but just as modulator. And that's what's happening here. The Arpeggiator has this modulation mode, and essentially it's of course MIDI time based. So if I would open the sequencer part here, here's the sequencer part, it would be MIDI time based. So you see there's also you can even have a slow attack so that it has a fade in. So this is essentially using the Arpeggiator as modulator. So let's check the chat room. Another glimpse at Blue 3 today. No, hopefully next week. I had such a busy day today because when I want to play it, I want to play you some new sounds, and So then the graphic interface is ready to go, and of course I want to play when you see it. I want to explain things, play sounds, which the new features are showing. So so essentially I only made today 2 new sounds. I mean, it's still in my computer here, so I just 2 new presets today, so that's not a lot. So I think if I look here, I think this was, so here you can see a little power Blue 3. It's the bank manager. I don't mind that you see that one. What was it once again? What I, oh no, that was the pet sound created with my own voice. Okay, let me see where the other one is. I made something with a where is it again? I think this one. So experiment. Piano, more electronic. It's not finished yet. So yeah, it's gonna pop up. Don't worry, it's gonna pop up most likely already next week, because then we are getting close to the release date of Blue 3 and also this new FX, which is very cool. And I made the tutorial today, so that one is ready to go. And now my focus is fully on Blue 3 and creating the presets and doing the last things that come along. Yeah, Gert Bruins, you had the sound sent it to me for Punch doing some typically sounds. Essentially, they sounded to me very much to the CR78. So if I would go here and add Punch 2 again. So let's add Punch 2. Here we go. I think in the if you go to the bank manager and then I think in the reverse we have a CR78 kick. So if you take these sounds, the kick is very funny. It's more like a plop. So this is what you did send me, and I think this is the sound you sent me is like this one. It's more like a CR78 sound. So that was very similar to this sound. That's something else. They are not in the CR87. Yeah, one sounded very much like this one. So, but I need to look into it, but currently too busy with Blue 3. But we will come back about this Gert Bruins. And of course, this is a very nice, this typical CR78 sound. And we use here the pattern. Very nice drum machine. The original one. It's from the Mini Pop 7. Yeah, that's what you told me. So I need to look into that. We do that as soon as I have a little bit more time. And of course, with Punch 2, you can do a lot of, yeah, essentially new type of, like this. These are not samples. This is done using the additive modulation. nice is this? So this is the synthesis part of Punch 2. Model 11 is additive. So that's what makes Punch 2 so special. It's not only sample-based stuff, but a lot of synthesis. And I think this one is also synthesis. If I go here to this one, user, I can make it longer. So this is here for making it longer. Decay. Yeah, there are a lot of... This is saw down is used for modulation. You can use also square or sine. So you can make some weird sounds, but yeah, experimental stuff. Yeah, and this is pure synthesis. But if you go, for instance, let's see, to another preset. I go in the Bank Manager, real drums. So this is, for instance, just showing the snare. So it plays the snare, which and if you see, this one is the snare. Here you can do the granular. Dirty. So that's a dirty snare. So this is the granular on the snare. So this is normal, G tuned, and this is granular. So yeah, you can do a lot of freaking around with Punch 2 on that subject. The possibilities are endless. And of course, we should make far more kits, but that's something which we like to do in the future anyhow. So on the kick, let's try on the kick. What's the kick is, it's this one. Not sure how it sounds with it. The kick really goes dead. This is the kick with granular. So that one is not so good on granular. No, that doesn't. Yeah, this is a very short, real acoustic kick. Granular, try it out on on some of the pads which use samples. That's really get some interesting stuff with Punch 2. So there's much to tell about it. So my idea for today was to show a little bit how you create, for instance, some classic synth sounds. So sometimes people think you need to have much oscillators going on and that kind of thing. So let me simply do an example with Predator-3. So I go to the introduction bank and pick the default. Okay, I need to select, of course, the right channel. Where is it? So now we have a sinus waveform. Which is, by the way, a nice waveform for doing if you use reverb. So if you take one of the most basic waveforms is, of course, the sinus waveform. If you go to here and you select sinus, you see it's the basic fundamental. So in the partials, which are the harmonics, you don't see any other harmonics. It's just the basic frequency which you hear. So if I play an A4, it's the A4 frequency you can hear. If I change here and change here the and I need to pick, of course, a user wave, then I change the total character. So this is the sinus. The moment I add harmonics, it's a waveform, a more got a digital waveform. So the sinus waveform is therefore so popular, for instance, for making sub basses, because it's only the basic frequency. You hear that low? You feel it more, then you can hear it. But this is also nice for, yeah, what, for instance, this singing saw sound. You need it a slow attack. It comes up, and then you need, of course, vibrato. Then we go to the section where you have a pitch LFO. Okay. So then you have a bit this singing saw. Of course, if you put some nice reverb on it, it's less dry, gets a little bit of so that's the saw. Sinus waveform is also good for that kind of sound, or if simply if you have a. So now a little bit less. It's a very nice sound if you use that in combination with reverb. Yeah, Tamine preset it could be, yes. And then, of course, with Tamine, you need to have the glide inside of it. We can do this by using portamento. Let's see. And of course, let's make it mono. Constant time. Well, more LFO. Yeah, what we could use, of course, is to control the modulation amount. You can give it a little bit here. But control the modulation amount with the mod wheel. So then if I open the mod wheel, the modulation will be deeper. So. So that's a little bit the singing saw. Maybe the release. No, shorter. So maybe I should save this one in case you would be interesting to have this one. I think there is already one inside of it, but I'm not sure. Save preset in folder. I put that in. Theremin I like. So that's the name. So that's simply with a sinus waveform, essentially only, you see, this one. Just the basic frequency. Of course, it's going to be different if you want to do a different type of sound. What also would be an option with the sinus waveform, let me see, is making drum sounds, but I think I did show that. So the sinus waveform, let's go to another waveform and make a classic analog synth sound. So this is a saw. Of course, the saw we put into the filter. Sometimes people think for a typical sound they need multiple oscillators, but for instance for a typical lead sounds, which is comparable to a trumpet-like or a single instrument sound. So I mean, for instance, a trumpet or violin, it's just, see, the trumpet has only one metal casing which produces the sound, and a violin only normally has one string playing. So essentially these sounds you can produce with one oscillator. Essentially even is a problem if you use more oscillators to create a trumpet-like sound or violin sound. So if you would buy a very old synthesizer with some presets on it from the end 70s, early 80s, they have sometimes these sounds in like violin, you know, then you get most likely these type of sound. Okay, then less portamento. A bit. So that's a bit like a violin types. So that would be a violin on the old, you know, preset machines in the early 70s, end 70s, early 80s. Yeah. Or a trumpet-like sound, then you get, of course, more filter type, a bit lower. Okay, why is it so soft? Okay, understand. So and then you have the filter envelope is needed for trumpet-like sound, because you hear it has not a direct. It has a kind of slow attack, fast slow attack. So. So this is the typically saw trumpet sound. And as you see, you need the envelope, the filter envelope, which is the amount is controlled by this one here. Otherwise you get this. So you need this to make this wop wop wop. And of course, of course, it doesn't have pitch bend. Let's do some pitch bending here. And of course, you could open the filter with this a little bit. So the modulation on the pitch LFO is maybe a bit too much if I open. Maybe a bit too much, a bit less. And of course, we could add some velocity in the filter. So if you play soft, keyboard tracking also should be on, because the higher you, that's better. So this is really a classic way of making a trumpet sound, which you would find, but without the reverb, of course, on a old analog preset machine. So I will save this one also, save preset as the old trumpet. I call this one. Okay, let me see the chat room. Can you follow me a little bit? Because I'm doing some basic synth sounds, which they did in the early 80s. At the end of the 70s, you had these preset machines like the Korg preset machine. Roland has the SH1000, which had your little knobs in front, and there you had this little presets, or the Korg Sigma, and then the trumpet sound would sound like this one. And then, of course, what we also could make now is then, for instance, a hobo. I don't know how you pronounce that in English. So let's go to another one. So I pick this one and I go over to another waveform, and I pick the square. The square to make a hobo sound. Of course, it also has this blow, this. But then we need to go to the advanced, which is here, and change the symmetry. Now, and you see it already starts to. A little bit like a hobo. And it depends how it's better. And you see the advance shows that the pulse is so if I open the next one here, you see the square. So this is the square, but I made the square thinner. So then you get this sounds. The bolero. So this is more a reed sound, essentially a reed sound. So so I've saved this one also, save preset as the old oboe, hobo. I'm not sure how they write that in English. The old oboe. Maybe like this. And what you also can do, of course, we have the LFO here, mod wheel, but also can say combination of mod wheel and aftertouch. So that we have a combination, modulation wheel and aftertouch. So if you have a keyboard with aftertouch, so it's not, of course, not perfect, but that's, of course, at that day in the end 70s, early 80s, that was how a hobo sounded from a preset analog synthesizer. And then you think, okay, well, this is each time we use here just one oscillator. Yeah, and when do you use two oscillators? Well, then that you would use in case you have a multiple source. Okay, I had it good. Oboe. Okay, so it's called the old oboe. Maybe it should have a little bit of noise inside of it, I picture. But then what may be too realistic. So you see in the advanced, I changed the symmetry. So if I go back here, you see the symmetry. This is the symmetry. Go back here and do a double click. I have again square. So when do you use, for instance, then a multiple oscillator sound? For instance, for creating an accordion sound. So a track suck, so also way that we call that in Limburg, we call it a track suck. So an accordion type of sound. Okay, let me try that one. So I go without the vibrato. I throw open the filter. And let's see what we have. Now, in a accordion, there are multiple reeds. So you need multiple oscillators. So I take the second oscillator. And then I think, okay, let's see how we can create that. I think the trick is, because the reeds which are inside the accordion, not always are perfect detuned. So we're gonna... Okay, that's already going the right direction. I go again to the advanced page. Change the symmetry, so make it thinner again. And then we have a little bit of an accordion. And of course we need to have a poly mode. Play mode. It's a bit like an accordion. It's not fully okay yet. Yeah, it's a little bit as a accordion now. Not perfect, but that's, you see how this would be done. If you would have a preset synthesizer from the 70s, 80s, it should have at least two oscillators to make a accordion sound. So it's not 100%. I'm fine tuning. Yeah, maybe even add one extra oscillator. That could not harm. So even adding one more. Okay, so I have the old accordion. I will save this preset. Save preset as the old. But a little noise, yeah, that could be also. So these are a few basic sounds, of course, from what was the analog approach? Valse musette, yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's more indeed a musette. Yeah, indeed. I should recall this. Rename preset. One S. Here we go. I'll make them available. So we have some classic reproduction of the preset synthesizers from the other century, and 70s, early 80s. You had these preset synthesizers. Okay. What could we do even more? So let's go back here. Mug noise. My sounds, it's called. Oh, I think that's where I combine some things. Water synth. Yeah, it uses pink noise to modulate the oscillator. If I bypass it, sinus wave. Let's take saw wave. Sounds like rain. Now you have rain. Yeah, there's some weird sounds. I'm not sure what is in this bank. I have here my own bank, and yeah, here we have also the Nova Aurora bank, Pat 1. Sequence. So here I have some other banks on my system, of course. Sometimes these are really test presets. Some appear then later on in the sound sets. Let me see. Not sure what that one is. Yeah, this is also typical analog sound, of course, this one. Delay. And here the Arpeggiator plays A-B. So we have, of course, a lot of features in this Arpeggiator. You can use it as modulation, what I did show in the beginning of the live stream. But here the CD play mode is up A is this one, and up B is this one. A little variation. So then you get ARPs or sequences which are less boring because they change over time. And a little trick, what I always do is I have ARP A, I go to the command function here, and I copy then ARP A to, here it is, copy ARP to, then you can copy the ARP to ARP B, C, and D, and then you change the other ones. So that's a little trick. Okay, let's see in the chat room if maybe somebody has a question. So I'm doing a little bit of classic analog sounds with Predator-3 currently. Looking here in the bank, personal bank, Peru mood. I'm not sure what. Oh, it's from the last album. very analog sounding, of course, these sequence types, Berlin sequence style of thing. Let me see if I'm going to show you another one. Woody lead. I wanted to show you how you create maybe we should do this from start, how you create a Minimoog style lead sound. Okay, I start with this one. Now, is it the case that we have built in the play mode, and these are setting per preset, that we have the advanced here, we have this analog drift. This analog drift, you see, has a value of 20%, which is the value which I also recognized on my Minimoog. This means that you get a kind of drifting, for instance, on the tuning, which makes that the sounds are very alive. So let me show you how this works. So if I have the saw wave, you don't hear the drifting. I put a second oscillator on, also with saw, and you see the tuning is perfect 0, 0, the fine tuning. So now if I put both on the same volume, let me see, minus 10.2, you can hear a small flanging. When I put down this analog drift, there's no flanging anymore. So this analog drift makes that there's a kind of drifting, which is great, essentially, for this Minimoog type of lead sound. You can add a little bit of. And there it is, almost there. So it's a pretty straightforward sound. Key tracking open. And you hear this phasing. So the detuning is very minimal. So if you would do too much detuning, the whole sound is gone. And of course, we have to have a little bit of vibrato, pitch LFO, a little bit of. And then, of course, we could control this with the modulation wheel. A bit more pitch, speed. Then the other trick is of course the play mode. Now it's polyphonic. We don't want a polyphonic mode. We want a Minimoog, which is only one voice, and we pick then the legato mode. And there is the Minimoog lead. The only thing it misses now is a little bit of reverb. So that's not so. There you have a Minimoog style lead. And you could, after the reverb, you also could add some stereo delay. Nice, isn't it? So it's pretty straightforward with Predator-3 creating this. It's of course the Moog itself is not a very complex synthesizer, so essentially this is a little remake. So that's better now, I think. Cool. Yeah, I'm checking the chat room. Yeah, sure. So let me save this one as well. Save preset as. live stream Moogie. Okay, now I put it in the wrong folder. I can show you how that works. Live stream Moogie, copy, and Rob, and then paste. Okay, here it is again. On the letter I did paste. I didn't hit it. Oh, no. It's in there. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Delete. Yeah, I need to put it in a different folder. Otherwise, I have the introduction bank messed up. So now I need to find it here in the long list. Because, yeah, the introduction bank has far more than 128 presets. Okay, sorry for that. I need to, otherwise I forget. So I need to remove that one. Here it is. Delete. Yes. So we still have it. It's in the this bank. I stream Moogie. Okay. Yeah, and if you go with this one, you easily get into this brassy sound. If you use on the second oscillator, which I showed a few times, if you use a free envelope and use that one on the pitch of the oscillator 2, also nice. Then you got more a prophet type of sound. This one could be polyphonic, of course. Play mode, polyphonic. And of course, then it sounds a bit too narrow because the tuning is then too narrow. So what I do is the pitch envelope, I lift up a little bit the sustain. So now you have a more a classic prophet-alike classic brass sound. Maybe a bit. Maybe a bit softer. Velocity. Sometimes you hear a little bit. Q now. This one. So this is more a brassy sound. So we see the same, jump alike a little bit. Yeah, I should not play it, I think. Jump. Yeah, jump. So let me save this one also. Save preset as live stream jump. I call this one. But the trick is what you hear. The second oscillator has a slightly pitch envelope. Oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. And that makes the Toto Africa. That also could be, but I think that one is a little bit softer, not that aggressive. I think that's more more like this one. Yeah, you see, you make a lot of variations by closing the cutoff frequency or making more filter envelope. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe a little bit chorus. Then you also... Also nice brass. A little bit this. Then instead of that, I would then take, so the pitch envelope is a little bit, but I would make then the modulation wheel do opening the filter. Yeah, that is a nice brass sound. Save preset as live stream brass. So many presets this evening. I'm gonna upload them for you. So when I go to the manager, do order by date. It's the live stream brass we had. We have the jump one. It's not fully. It's a bit too much. Bit too much detuned. And I need to correct that one. Where is it? The envelope. So the pitch where it stays is done by the sustain. That's better. Was a bit over the top. So, you know, this pitch envelope, it goes down and then it stays on the sustain level. And if I make the sustain level too low, then it doesn't sound detuned. But if I do it, the sustain level too high, it's too much detuned. So that one we have. So order by date, jump, brass, stream Moogie. This Moog lead sound. And we had another one. But where was that one? I thought we had also... Oh, I put them in my sound. So these three ones, and in my sounds we had the old musette, the old oboe, and the old trumpet, and the theremin alike. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 presets. Where once you unzip it, drop it in a folder you liked. You can, in the bank manager, you can say, create here your own, you press here, new, down here, and then you can create your own bank name. For instance, just like 001 My Sounds, and then you drop these presets, you drop into this folder. And you can do this, you can find the bank folder, you can find in my, in products, no, sorry, in documents, / Rob Papen, Predator-3 bank folder, or in the Apple, you can find it in applications, Rob Papen, Predator-3 / bank folder. So, and then you drag the presets, and then they will show up the next time you upload or reload Predator-3. Okay, guys. Okay, that's the back panel. So we have quite some sound. So today a little bit about analog synths, the early 80s preset machines we had. Also already at the end of the 70s, I think. I think the Roland SH1000 was somewhere at the end of 70s, maybe even earlier. So that's what we did today. of course, I hope to see you next week. Hopefully, I can show you then Blue 3 with a lot of new sounds. Tell you what you can expect, because then we are getting close to the release. So I'm checking the live stream chat room now. Airwolf Brass. Yeah, that could well be. Cool. Well, guys, thanks for watching the live stream. If you missed it, you always can watch it back. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and if you hit the bell icon, then you always get a notification that I'm online. So you can subscribe, of course, to the channel, but if you hit the bell icon, then you get instantly a message that I'm live or that there is a new video. So thanks for watching. Stay safe, enjoy creating music, and have fun. Bye, guys.